Let us understand certain technical terms related to continuous frequency distribution. Number one is class limit. What is this class limit? Recollect our continuous frequency distribution example where we talked about wages. We talked about wages like this. We said wages are in the range of 50 to 100, 100 to 150, 150 to 200. So these are all called as class. These are all called as class. So we'll take this example first. So we had a class of 50 to 100. We had a class of 50 to 100. Now this 50 will be called as lowest class, and this 100 would be called as highest class. So we have lowest class and highest class. So there are boundaries. The boundaries of this class is nothing but this lowest class and highest class, and so we call this as lower limit, and we call this one as upper limit. So lower limit conveys that there cannot be any other items below that value in the particular class, and upper limit conveys that there cannot be any other value which is greater than the upper limit. So this lower limit will be denoted in statistics using the word L, and upper limit will be denoted in statistics using the word U. The next one, the point which we have to understand, is class interval. What is this class interval? Let's again take the same example. We were talking about the class of 50 to 100. So the class interval is nothing but the size of each grouping of data. So here we are talking about the size of 50 to 100. Then we may talk about the size of 100 to 150. Then we can talk about the size of 150 to 200. So class interval is nothing but the size of each grouping of data. So each group will have their own lower limit and its own upper limit. So the upper limit of one group, say the upper limit of this first group would be the lower limit for the second group, and here the upper limit of the second group will be the lower limit for the third group. The next point what we have to understand is width of class interval. So what is this width of class interval? This is nothing but the difference between the lower limit, which is denoted by L, and upper limit, which is denoted by U. So the difference between the upper limit and lower limit, or vice versa, but it's basically the difference. The difference between these two is called width, and it would be represented by the alphabet called C. The next point for understanding is range. Range is nothing but the difference between the largest observation and the smallest observation. So in data you will have the largest value and the smallest value. The difference between these two is called as range. So mathematically it can be written as range is equal to largest value minus smallest value. So this range will be denoted by the alphabet R. So R is equal to L minus S. The next point is mid value or midpoint. This mid value or midpoint is nothing but central point of class interval. So this is nothing but central point of class interval. So how do we get this midpoint? Midpoint we can get by adding the upper limit and lower limit, then dividing the sum by 2. So midpoint is nothing but upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. Next item is frequency. Frequency is nothing but number of observations which fall within a particular class interval. So the number of observations falling within a particular class interval is called as frequency. Look at this table. This table has continuous frequency distribution wherein you have the number of persons as 25, 53, 77 and so on. So these numbers are called as class frequency because they are frequency of each and every class, and then we total them, so the total frequency is 420. So the total frequency indicates the number of observations considered in a frequency distribution.